RAFAH, Gaza Strip. Heavy raged throughout night and into Sunday across Gaza, including in devastated north, as Israel continued its offensive after United States blocked latest international ceasefire push and sent more munitions to Israel. Close ally. Israel has faced growing international outrage and calls for a permanent ceasefire following the killing of thousands of Palestinian civilians. About 85% of Gaza's 2.3 million people have been displaced from the besieged area, where UN agencies say there is no safe place to flee. The United States has lent vital support the offensive in recent days, vetoing United Nations Security Council efforts to end the conflict, which has received broad international support, and urgently selling more than $100 million worth of tank ammunition. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu thanked U.S. President Joe Biden for providing important ammunition for continuation of the war and supporting Israel in Security Council. Hamas and other Palestinian militants raided southern Israel that day, killing approximately 1,200 people and capturing approximately 240. More than 100 of them were released during a week-long ceasefire late last month. Netanyahu's office said Sunday that Hamas still had 117 hostages, as well as the remains of 20 people killed in captivity or in the October 7 attack. Militants hope to exchange them for large numbers of Palestinians imprisoned by Israel. In response to the attack, Israel launched an air and ground war that killed thousands of Palestinians, mostly civilians, and forced nearly 1.9 million people to flee their homes. Palestinians face severe shortages of food, water and other basic needs, with very little aid allowed to enter and deliveries becoming impossible across much of the region. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, who invoked rarely used authority to call for a ceasefire last week, said we face a serious risk of the collapse of the humanitarian system. The situation is rapidly deteriorating towards catastrophe with potentially irreversible consequences for peace and security for the Palestinians and the region as a whole, he told Forum in Qatar. Israel's national security advisor, Tzachi Hanegbi, told Israel's Channel 12 television late Saturday that the United States had not set any deadline for Israel to achieve its goals of disbanding Hamas and returning all hostages. Conflicts and arrests in the North. Israeli forces continue to face heavy resistance even in northern Gaza, where airstrikes have leveled entire neighborhoods and ground troops have been operating for more than 6 weeks. Israel's Channel 13 TV broadcast of dozens of detainees with their hands in the air and stripped down to their underwear. Many were holding assault rifles above their heads, and a man appeared to slowly walk forward and drop a gun on the ground before turning back to the group. Other recent videos show groups of unarmed men being held in similar conditions.